We don't just want to build or use like our existing game mechanics that are out there in other games and then just slap a token on top. We really want to build it up from the ground up with Web3 in mind and the token in mind. So we created more than 25 tokens on a testnet that we will move all to a mainnet.
Welcome back, everyone. It's me again, Regina, for another Web3 gaming interview. And today we have a very special guest joining us from the Voya game. Hello there, Oliver. How are you?
Hi, Gina. Thanks for having me. Doing pretty good. Weather's nice here. How are you?
Awesome. Yeah, good too. Okay, Oliver, before we start, could you please share a bit about your background and what led you to develop the Voya games, especially this Angry Dynomites lab?
Sure. Yeah. So I've been a lifelong gamer. I started playing Game Boy Pocket when I was a child, and then switched over to a few consoles and PC titles. So I was always like a very vivid gamer. Sometimes had issue with my parents because I was playing too much video games, but I think that's what a lot of teenagers back in the days experienced. And then I went to study computer science. And out of nowhere, a friend approached me about like, hey, do you want to develop video games with me? And I never thought about like, actually developing video games in my life. But I said like, okay, yeah, I have time. Let's try it out. So we gathered together a few more friends and started in the student's apartment and developed like one very complex game, which was failing basically. So we didn't got it even to build out. But then we built Idle Miner Tycoon, which was then our second title, and that was a free to play mobile game, very simple. And we just put it out there, and we got a lot of downloads. We made our first revenue, hired the first people, and then could build out a whole company called Colibri Games that we scaled to over 100 people to multiple $1 million in revenue, and ultimately sold it to Ubisoft in 2020. That was a very big milestone for us. It was a very exciting time and definitely a great exit in the end. We stayed there for a bit longer, and then we as the founders moved out. And I was looking around what was happening. It was summer 21. And that was the big hype around Axie Infinity and Web3 gaming. So I tested it out. It took me, I think, 2 hours to set up a wallet and get some Axies in my wallet and started Axie Infinity, only to find out that it's not really fun for me. So I played for half an hour and quit. But I found it very interesting, like what tokens and NFTs could enable in gaming, because I spent $1,000 on buying these Axies back then, and usually this money is lost in typical free-to-play games. But then I could basically sell it back again, and this made kind of a click moment for myself, and thought like, okay, that's very interesting mechanic that we can use to build games. So I also looked around what other games were out there, basically played all the Web3 games back then, but I always had the feeling, okay, there's much more to it. And if we really kind of build high quality, fun games that players enjoy and build a token economy inside, that's what I want to do, and started Voya Games.
Wow, that's amazing. It seems that you guys started with a Web2 and then innovate the Web3.
Yeah, so we started like with building out NFT collections. We released 2 NFT collections in 22 just to test the waters around One Web3, and then experimented a bit like how we can utilize these NFTs in a gaming experience. And in 23, then we developed our first game, Craft World, that we released. And it's been on a testnet since then, and we continue to develop and ship new updates. And now one of our next big milestones is moving it to a mainnet.
Okay. Okay. So regarding with the craft world, I believe you're referring to the Angry Dynamites lab, right?
Yeah,
Go
Angry
ahead.
Dynomites Lab is kind of the IP of the whole universe, like the NFTs, the Craft World game, and the further games we build. So it's like kind of
Mm-hmm.
the overarching theme around the games and the NFTs.
Could you please tell what inspired the creation of Angry Dynamites lab and what sets it apart in the Web3 game space?
So Angry Dynamites Lab itself, I think it's more about the value and story and IP we want to build. So first, we want to build something very sustainable. So we are not here to build something, release a token, and then leave again. So we rather like really look for, okay, how can we create a project that is there to stay for years and decades even, and how we can, yeah, basically create a community around it that is very loyal and not just also about making money. And yeah, that's kind of the ethos behind the Angry Dynamites lab. The story around
Mm-hmm.
it is that an asteroid was crashing into the Earth, wiping out the human race, and then the dinos are reborn on the Earth planet, and they now need to rebuild this world. So it's basically the other way around than it was millions of years ago when dinos
Yeah.
were extinguished. They are now back, and they need the players' help in order to rebuild this destroyed world and maybe even escape it. And that's kind of the story around Angry Dynamite's lab.
Yeah, I remember that the time I played the Angry Dynamite. I'm not so sure if you also read my article regarding that. I also highlight how your tokenomics, it's really good, that it's sustainable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
okay.
was a very big focus for us. So like in the game we are building, for us it's very important to have a very sustainable token economy, but also an innovative one. So we don't just want to yeah build or use like our existing game mechanics that are out there in other games and then just slap a token on top. We really want to build it up from the ground up with Web3 in mind and the token in
Yeah.
mind. So we created more than 25 tokens on a testnet that we will move all to a mainnet, and they
Mhm.
all are being able to trade with each other. So you can gather one resource and then sell it for another resource. So you have like this exchange and deep market economy inside the
Yeah.
game, which is a very core feature, and I think sets us apart from a lot of other games.
By the way, I just want to provide my insights while playing it. It's really crazy with those different dinosaurs.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
Yeah. I think there's all kinds of dynamites. So we have a few dynamites which are NFTs, the water and the fire ones. If you
Yeah.
own some of them, you basically producing one of the core resources. So fire dinos produce fire tokens,
Yeah.
and the water dino produces water tokens, and these are the base raw resources where you can then build and create a lot of other resources out of them. And then we also have
Yeah.
another resource which is for free, where you don't need an NFT, which is the Earth
Mhm.
resource. And this is basically there to onboard new players. So we also want to create an experience where you don't need to first buy an NFT or create a wallet. For us, it's very important to yeah, basically get the players into the game. No friction, start playing, get them hooked, and then later on they can explore all the other resources and maybe even buy an NFT.
I started in diving into Web3 gaming last year. So
Mhm.
I really appreciate how this game works because as a Web3 gaming noob, it's hard for me to insert the Web3 stuff. But
Yeah,
in the Inter Dynamite, you can play without those Web3 backgrounds. Yeah, you
yeah,
can just enjoy. Hmm.
yeah, exactly.
And
That was
along the
a
way,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
sorry,
that was
sorry.
a very important point for us as well when we started developing Craft World and Angry Dynamites. Yeah, we want to make it as easy as possible to play the game. You don't need to have a lot of technical knowledge, not a lot of Web3 knowledge, also not a lot of time to set it up. We just want you to start the game and be immersed into it, and yeah, basically can continue from there on. And so we invested a lot into smart wallet technologies, where we basically create a wallet for you in the background. You don't even know about it.
Yeah.
And then later on, you can use it to trade and execute trades. But also this experience we make very simple for you. You can do everything inside the game. We sponsor your gas fees. You don't need to approve transactions. So even later in the game, you actually don't really need to know Web3 knowledge or create a wallet. But we slowly teach you about like what it actually means to trade the resources or to set up liquidity pools and so on and so forth. So instead of playing or like kind of setting up a lot of stuff and then play, you can play and then learn about all the great Web3 side of things. And we experienced in the past, like some of our most engaged players now, they actually were Web2 players who never had to do anything with Web3. They found our game somewhere in the App Store, downloaded it, played it, and then basically learned that there were Web3 elements. And then they got so excited about it that they bought many NFTs, that they are one of our most loyal community members now. And yeah, I think that's exactly the experience we want to create.
By the way, for the in case for the our listeners or our viewers, this Angry Dynamites, you don't need to download anything. You can play it as long as you have the browser or Google Chrome, something
Yeah,
like that.
exactly. Our game is available on the browser and also on the App Store. So we are live on the Google Play Store and the Apple App Stores. We even have a Telegram version that you can use. So our goal is also to be as much cross-platform as possible. So you can play it anywhere, anytime. You can also switch between the devices. For example, I don't know, if you're on your PC, you can use the browser. If you then go out there to the subway, you can continue playing on the phone. So we want to make it as frictionless and easy for you to play our game.
This is exciting game for everyone, for the newbies and advanced players. For someone new to Web3 gaming, how could you describe Angry Dynamite? Or maybe could you describe it in 3 words?
3 words. Yeah, I would say fun. Fun is one of our most important part, because we think gaming first needs to be fun. I think second is like innovative, because we are utilizing tokens and the token economy to create like new game experience, new depths of gameplay that wasn't available in any other game that you see before. And the last thing is, I would say, community focused. So yeah, we are very focused on building a great community around the games and the future games we want to build. The community is very important for us. We really like kind of value their input, their feedback. We are developing with them. We even say that the community is part of our team. So yeah, we're putting a lot of focus on that, and I think we are benefiting both ways. The community benefits from us and making a better game, and we benefit from the community getting a lot of great feedback and improvement ideas.
When I play the game, it's really a fast-paced action and with a strategy. How did your team conceptualize this mixed strategy or category, and what challenges did your team encounter during the development?
Our idea was to make it very easy in the beginning. So in the beginning, you can only click a few buttons and you need to wait, but it's already like kind of very rewarding and fun to see and progress. And you're basically starting with one mine producing resources, and then you have a bunch of factories which you can use these resources for to create other resources, and then you go ahead and you can upgrade them. So it's very simple to start with, and then later on you unlock more and more things. So in the beginning you can't trade the resources, so you unlock like kind of a building, an exchange building where you can start trading the resources. Later on you also unlock a masterpiece feature where you build together with the community very colossal buildings and infrastructure for the dinos, and you can rank up a leaderboard and compete against others. So it becomes, the further you progress into the game, the more complex it gets and the more strategy you need. But in the beginning, it's super simple. So this way, we can attract a lot of users and keep them from early on, but then also give them a lot of depth later on to stay engaged and have fun. And especially by having our resources as tokens, I always see it like that there's unlimited depth to it, because then players can even do more with the tokens, even outside of the game. They can send it to their friends, they can sell it to other players, they can trade it for other resources, and so on and so forth, and maybe even use loans or so. So there's unlimited potential by just having these resources as tokens. And that's what I find so interesting. So we're tapping very deep into these DeFi systems that are really mature in Web3 already.
My question now, are you open to AI integration within the Angry Dynamites? If so, in what ways do you guys envision AI enhancing the gameplay, player interaction, or the development processes?
Yeah. So on the development side, we are heavily using it already. So we're using especially AI, like Cursor, for example, to develop code, and our engineers are getting a lot of productivity out of it. We're also using it to generate images and mock-ups for our game. So artists utilizing it as well as our game designers who do all like the number crunching and so on and so forth, use it a lot to gather analytics and insights from our existing data. And so, yeah, from the development side, we're utilizing it heavily. From the gameplay experience side, so far we are not integrating anything directly in here, although we have some ideas on how we can do this. So, for example, we want to in the future also build like an AI agent on Twitter that is basically interacting with the game itself. So it's a more like a Tamagotchi type of experience where you can feed the AI agents with like resources you produce in Craft World, and then it levels up, and then it gives like some other resources that you can utilize again. And it's all like an AI agent which basically defines like what it needs, tweets about it, and so on and so forth. So this way we want to deeply connect kind of this Tamagotchi AI agent experience with the Craft World game itself. And yeah, I think that's something we find very exciting and we want to experiment more. And I think I can
Mhm.
even see some ways on how we can add some more automation in the game through AI agents. But I think this needs to be very carefully considered in order to not just have bots playing the game only and no players anymore.
Yeah, I think that AI Tamagotchi is exciting because it brings nostalgia,
Yeah,
especially for the 90s or 2000
exactly.
kids.
Yeah,
I'm excited for that release feature. Okay,
yeah.
so far, Oliver, do you guys have a security protocols or especially an anti-cheat mechanism feature for this Ingra Dynamite? So far, are you guys doing that?
Yeah, I mean it's a very important part, especially in Web3 games, as there's often some economic incentive for bots or cheaters or hackers to get tokens, and this will basically destroy the gaming experience for all the players that are actually playing, because they more or less can't compete with bots or people who are creating thousands of accounts. So. We experienced some of these things now while being on testnet. We worked on a lot of bot prevention or identification of bots, and we banned a lot of the bots already and made it harder for them to actually bot. Although I think there will never be a case where we can 100% like being bot proof, but we at least want to design it also from a gameplay perspective, that at least like the dump botting, where you just like basically do some clicks, automating some clicks, won't get you so far ahead anymore, but it's more like then the strategy of the players on how they want to play the game and so on and so forth, which really brings you ahead. One important thing that we are developing right now is also a kind of social reputation system, so that we can actually identify like the users or the users need to complete certain tasks in order that we can really identify like, okay, this is a real user. And we don't do any KYC or something like this, but more like, okay, if you, for example, bought any item in the game, it will rank you higher in this reputation system. If you connected your socials, if you're active in the community, and so on and so forth. So these will then all kind of give you a reputation score and will then basically unlock features that bots wouldn't be able to unlock. And yeah, that's our kind of goal about dealing with all the bots and hackers out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's trial and error as well as here in our end. We are also innovating, trying to filter out these scammers, hackers. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think,
And
yeah.
people are going
It,
very long way and trying a lot of stuff. So we experienced a lot of these things already, and we needed to learn it also the hard way on the testnet already. But I guess
yes.
this makes us a bit stronger for the mainnet. Although, yeah, in mainnet things change again. But at least like we already took the low-hanging fruits on what we can do for prevention and precautions.
Virtual gaming is evolving rapidly. From your perspective, where do you see the industry heading us in, for example, 2 to 3 years? And how Angry Dynamite do you think positioning itself within the vision?
This year, there were already like a lot of Web3 gaming studios shutting down, which is very, very unfortunate. Some of them even gathered a lot of funding, and players were really bullish and hyped around it. But I think it's also a great reset right now that is happening in order to then maybe let smaller gaming studios and companies getting more mind share again and more attention from the community. And I think it's very important to start with like kind of small games and experiment a lot and iterate fast. And that's what I see right now, what is happening. There's a lot of new smaller games coming out, innovating on all different fronts. And we are also trying to be part of this one where we basically develop in public, get feedback, reiterate, and so on and so forth. And I think this will lead to a lot of new innovation, a lot of new best practices on how to deal with very tough topics around Web3, especially on the user experience side, around bot protection, and so on and so forth. And in 2 to 3 years, I would say I would like to see a world where, okay, there's some best practices established on how to build Web3 games, and that then more and more game developers can actually focus on how to build a great gaming experience itself that is fun, that is continuing. Because right now there's a lot of focus on kind of experimenting, and this takes a lot of time, and this time is then lost on the actual game development. So yeah, I would say there will be many smaller games which are having success, which have real users, which have good UX, which have good bot protection, and from there on we can kind of continue to build better and better games.
I think with your vision, continue hearing the voices of your community. I think from that, you have the solid progression along the way in the Web3 gaming. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that's it. Yeah, that's what we are trying to achieve with like the good UX, with like a new token economy, which is sustainable, and also working on the spot protection. So yeah, we don't just want to build this for us, but we want to build this as an industry. We think like everyone succeeds, it's the best for the industry. So it's not just one game, but like there should be many games, because then we attract more and more players to Web3, and then there's a bigger pool of players that we can touch into.
yeah, I think, the team itself for the Angry Dynomites is one of the kind. It's unique. It's really entertaining.
Thanks.
Especially also, it's like adds the highlight with the NFTs or the tokenomics. So I think you guys will do amazing in the future.
Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
So last year, I played the Angry Dynamite. And then after playing a game, I usually write a review. And then, Kelly mentioned to me that you guys are open for interviews. So when I go back, check again the Angry Dynamite's webpage, I noticed that you guys transitioned from Ethereum to Ronin Network. So with that, could you share the reasons behind this transition and how it has impacted the game's performance, scalability, and overall user experience?
First, like we are still in like the transition period, so we will be moving the game to Ronin very soon. And right now we are still on the test net, but I can already share like some decision points on why we want to move to Ronin and what already we see as benefits even on a testnet from basically announcing to move to Ronin. So we looked at many chains to launch our game on. Yeah, for us was always important to have a great community on the chain that is very loyal, that stays with us, which is not just about making money, but also having fun. And yeah, Ronin ticked a lot of these boxes. They already building the community since years. With Axie Infinity as like kind of the first success, but then onboarded Pixels, Cambria, and many other great games, which the players always enjoyed, and they were even growing the community further. They even went through one of the biggest hacks in Web3, like the Ronin ecosystem got hacked, I think, for 600 million a few years back, and they recovered from it. And I think that shows like that, yeah, the community is loyal and really forward looking. And I think this basically gives the best position to build a game which is focused on sustainability and long-term vision as well. So we share a lot of these similarities here, and yeah, that's why we decided to go there. And the Ronin team was so far very welcoming, very professional, and supporting us a lot along the way. And through that, we already managed to get a lot of new users, even on testnet, playing the game. So we got, I think, like now up to 100,000 daily active users from like 5 or 10K before the announcement to move to Ronin, and yeah, a lot of great numbers and users having fun with the game. So yeah, we can already see great benefits from to go there, even though we are not there yet. But yeah, very soon there will be yeah, the Craft World and Angry Dynamites game will launch on Ronin.
Last month or last 2 weeks ago, I personally met the core team from the X Infinity here in the Philippines.
Oh, great.
So wow, yeah, they are so amazing. It's not,
Yeah, really good.
yeah, they're so genuine people, and
Yeah.
I hope someday or next time I am also seeing the Angry Dynamite, the successful stories. Just like for the Pixels, that's their newest success story. There's a chef who just playing Pixels, or yeah, just playing Pixels, and then reach his personal goal as being a chef using that. Yeah. So I
Oh,
think,
nice.
yes, I hope someday I will scoop this kind of real stories from Inger
Yeah,
Dynamite side. Yes.
yeah. Hopefully we can, yeah, have similar stories as well, and yeah, tap into the footsteps of the other games on Ronin.
Yeah. I think you guys will go there because you have the good track because you team up with the Ronin team.
Yeah, yeah. I feel
Good.
like they're so great and so supporting, and yeah, so far the experience was definitely good, and just looking forward to continue to work with them deeper.
Aside from the Axie Infinity, are there any other partnerships that players can look forward? And how this align with the long-term roadmap for Angel Dynamite or the Voya games itself?
Yeah, one of the next milestones is definitely launching on Ronin itself. Yeah, we will do this. We have like right now like a growth campaign being live called Project Voyager that will conclude soon. And this will, if you participated into this Project Voyager, you will be able to get some of the tokens on the Ronin mainnet. So especially the Dino coin will be distributed to all the people who participated, and this will give them like also an advantage once we move there. And after we move to Ronin, we are already planning to do an event, a Ronin event inside the game, where it's basically a time limited event, and we're integrating some of the Ronin tokens into the game itself, and they act as resources. so you can build other resources out of this Ronin games, and we basically theme the whole experience like with the Ronin IPs. So I think this will be very exciting for a lot of the Ronin players, and it's basically us saying hello to the new Ronin world, and we're super excited about that. And later on, we of course have many more ideas around how we can improve the gameplay, make it more fun, make it more strategic, and so on and so forth. So we are, I think, just at the tip of the iceberg of what we still want to develop. And yeah, after moving to the mainnet on Ronin, we will then continue to develop the games. And last but not least, we have like now the two NFT collections, the Fire and the Water ones. And we will probably work on another NFT collection, the Air Dinos, that we then also want to basically distribute and bring to the Ronin ecosystem. So yeah, kind of doing more NFT drops, which are always exciting.
Well, exciting. So yeah, I personally tune in for that one because yeah,
Yeah.
I love playing this game. You know, when I'm after my shift or interval with my shift, I just check Angry Dynamite just to freshen my mind out of my work.
Great.
Yeah,
Good.
it's really because it sharpens my focus because it's a fast-paced game, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you need to always like kind of find the right buttons to click it to deliver
correct.
all the game.
Especially if I unlock many elements already, I need
Yeah.
to work continuously,
Yeah,
multitasking.
a lot of our players also report that it's like kind of a very calming experience where you basically can just like watch your factories producing your resources, and it kind of brings them down a bit and relax a bit as well. So I think that's also very cool to hear that it also has this factor element to the gameplay.
Okay, I think we have the last question now. I didn't notice that we are talking 35 minutes now. It's
Oh
really
yeah.
good talking to you, speaking with you,
Yeah,
Oliver.
likewise.
Okay, so for my last question, Oliver, where can players or fans stay updated with the Anchor Dynamics, including the announcements, the community events or drops? And lastly, do you have any message for the Web3 gaming community or even for the aspiring developers looking to enter into the Web3 gaming space?
Yeah. So first, you can basically get all the information on our social channels, like our X, it's I think Angry Dynomites, or join our Discord, which is also linked on our website, angrydynomitslab.com. And there's also a light paper explaining everything we talked about in way more detail, and laying out our bigger vision of Voya games itself. So it's just like recommend going to our website, reading through the materials, and joining our socials on X and Discord. And my personal message to the Web3 gaming community is like, yeah, if you're a developer, just start building, start experimenting, try to get out there as fast as possible, even if you just have a very small game. But don't be shy, don't overthink things, and try out stuff and experiment with it, because that's the best way to learn. And we as a Web3 gaming industry, we have a lot of things to learn still. And I guess everyone else will profit from your learnings as well, as they can watch and see what works, what doesn't work. And yeah, so I think like just build small game experience, try things out. If it doesn't work, build something else. But yeah, I mean that will all bring us to a very glorious future of free gaming, I guess. So yeah, and if you're a gamer, I think yeah, check out the games. I think rather look for ways on how to have fun with the games instead of earning money. I think earning should be, if at all, should be just secondary. I think games are here to be fun, and yeah, enjoy playing the Web3 games.
Yeah, I think as long as you guys have the solid community, uh, the success is with our fingertips.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the most important part. I think community is always key, and we started to build the NFT collections back then, first because we wanted to have a community before actually building a game. And yeah, since then we have always been very transparent with the community, tried to involve them as much as possible, and create a very loyal community that we can benefit from. And yeah, I mean, it's so great in Web3 to see how engaged everyone is and how much effort they put into this. And yeah, I mean, yeah, community is definitely key.
Yeah, I think that's it from my end. Thank you so much for your time. I
Thank you
thought
very much as well.
I only thought I will be speaking 20 minutes or just 10 minutes, just like my usual interviews. But yeah, it seems that yeah, we have a smooth conversation, and it's really fun speaking with you,
Yeah,
especially highlight.
likewise, like time was flying very fast. So yeah,
Yes.
glad that it also felt good for you, and that we could talk about a lot of great things around Web3 gaming and Angry Dinos.
So that's it. That's a wrap for today's episode, everyone. Please join us next time for more Web3 gaming scoops. Bye for now, and thank you, everyone.